of the internet brings us back together yet once again, people. It's EC Radio. It is Local Music Monday, and unfortunately, my co-host for Local Music Monday cannot join us. So he got a little butthurt, actually. He was a little butthurt, and he was like, I can't make it for Local Music Monday, and I really wanted to interview Nash, and because we got such a bromance with each other, you think it'd be possible if we could switch it? So we're going to have Local Music Monday, and we're going to have Local Music Thursday with my co-host Justin Smithson and Rob Nash. So that's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, CC Radio, before we get into anything, much love to my sponsors, my good sponsors. Gotta love my sponsors. Give it up for EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When it's time to move and relocate, hit them up at ejamoving.com or call them 315-335-0516. The professional movers, they make your move stress-free and painless because they do all the work for you, people. They do everything for you. They pack your boxes. They give you the boxes for free. They unpack it. All you gotta do is point. You put that there, put my knickknacks over there. He'll move your gym equipment. He'll move your studio. He'll move your grandmother to Presswick Glen. He'll move you pretty much wherever you need to go. So call him today at 315-0516. Also, much love to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. If you need legal help, call him today at 315-735-6162. Shout out to Utica Coffee. Today they released their brand new coffee, pumpkin coffee. Any pumpkin coffee fans in the house, check out the new Headless Horseman. It's phenomenal. I got to try it over the weekend, and Heather gave me a big old batch of it, so we've been drinking it all weekend. So shout out to Heather and Frank over at Utica Coffee. WakeTheHellUp.com. You can check them out online. And also much love to my good friends over at the Saranac Brewery. God, I can't wait till we can get some live concerts going again over at the Saranac Brewery. I cannot wait. It's going to happen soon, probably in 2021, but we'll see what happens. Much love to Saranac. Saranac.com. Check them out for all their great, delicious beers and soft drinks and merchandise and everything that they do over there on Varick Street. Like I said, it's Local Music Monday, and joining me today is a local musician, a friend, Mr. Ryan Matter in the house. How you doing, brother? Great to see you, man.
Hey, you guys too, man. It's always great to be here.
Thanks for doing this on short notice.
Hey, it's easy to do on a Monday.
Right. It is, man. Just nothing else to do, right? There's no gigs, really. I mean, you've had minimal gigs, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few here and there, and, it's obviously 2020 has just been a rough year.
Yeah.
It's really rough for live music. Everything being canceled and everything being shut down, so it's just a matter of riding the wave and waiting until it kind of calms down a little bit.
I'm opting out of 2020. That's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
That's it. My agent told me to opt right out of it. So I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. I feel like a lot of the NFL players are opting out of 2020 too.
NFL, Major League Baseball. It seems like a lot of them are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sad year. But it will come back soon, and hopefully it will come back stronger than ever.
Oh, yeah. Even just the few shows I have played, I think the response, people finally realized, how much they enjoyed live music. When before all this stuff happened, it was, you'd go play a show and, you can kind of just see it where everybody kind of was taking it for granted. Now that I've been back to play a few shows, it's like people are more perceptive about what's actually going on the stage as opposed to just having their conversations because it's been gone for so long.
So they're paying attention.
It seems like they are.
Good.
I'm not even going to lie. It seems like they are. Like our first show back was Red Shed Brewery in Cooperstown, and it was pretty much all eyes on the band.
Yeah.
And I was very pleased to see that. It was very much, we feed off of the crowd.
Absolutely.
Like the band that I have, we all feed off of a crowd. And I know a lot of other musicians that do the same thing. And, when the crowd's not into it, makes it a really long night. And that set, they were all into it, and it was just like, all right, here we go. And it was fire from the start.
Usually when they're not paying attention, it's more of a cash grab for you.
Yeah, it's more like a paid rehearsal.
Right. Right, but it's good, man. So the energy levels have been up at your gigs.
Yeah, they really have.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
It's been really nice.
Because a lot of times the band just turns into background music, especially if you're playing these random restaurants or breweries or something like that. So it's good that people are starting to appreciate live music again.
Yeah,
It
100%.
sucks it took a virus and a lockdown to go through it and a freaking pandemic to actually realize how much people love live music.
Yeah, it really did. Because, it's always been there.
Right.
But like I said, I guess when something is always there, you seem to take it for granted and now that it's been gone for 3 months or 4 months or however long it's been, it's, hey, we really missed that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, keep rocking though, bro. And so, what have you been doing through COVID? You've been recording. You've been what have you
We
been
have
doing?
been. We have been. So I got the home studio, which is basically the garage, and we've been setting up in my garage, and then basically doing like rehearsals. And throughout the rehearsals, we were retracking my first album, and we've dropped 3 EPs since all this stuff started. We did Quarantine Sessions Volume 1, Volume 2, and then a cover 5 songs that was Tried and True. And those are on all of the digital platforms. I'm not doing hard copy CDs of it or anything, but, so we still have 1 more Quarantine Sessions that's going to come out, and it's going to be 4 more originals and a cover, which was the basis of it all. Like, for the Quarantine Session stuff, we did 4 originals, 1 cover, which was solo acoustic for the cover. And
What cover did you cover?
The first one was Good Riddance by Green Day.
Wow.
So that was the first cover we did. Then the second one, I did more of a Chris Stapleton version of Drink a Beer. And then on the third one, which will come out sometime later here, probably in the next 8 or 9 weeks, depending on how long it takes me to get it mixed, it'll be 4 more originals, and then I'm doing a song called It Ain't Easy Being Me by an artist named Chris Knight out of Kentucky. And then we did Tried and True, which was Pink Houses by Mellencamp, Bad Luck by Social Distortion, Born Under a Bad Sign by Albert King.
Oh, you're all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think. Hard to Handle by Otis Redding, Black Crowes, and LaGrange.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's
And
been,
that's pretty much in your wheelhouse, though. A lot of those tunes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's
for me to describe. You're like an outlaw rock and roll country / like classic rock. You got that old vintage sound.
Yeah, I mean we're very much like we live and die off our tube amps. Even me and Dan Phillips, my bass player, he's very analog vintage guy, and me, I'm like, I just want it to sound like this. And then I finally got, they don't make them anymore, but it was a company called Blackheart Amplifiers. And they were actually based out of Austin, and then Crate bought them and mass produced them. And I found a tone with this 15-watt Blackheart, and I've been using them ever since. And I'm just like, that's it. That's it. And, I play Les Paul guitars, so it's just kind of, it's very Social Distortion meets ZZ Top.
Very cool.
So it's been fun. It was it's been a lot of work, and it's been very challenging, but it's been rewarding too, because I'm getting the music out with the guys in the band as opposed to the studio musicians. So like the way we did it was they're getting a percentage of it too, so that way for every spin they're getting a percentage of the sales, and it's like, hey, this way we're still making money. Like, it may not be a lot, but at least we're still making something. Mm-hmm. And so it's been working for us. And then I've got the label going now, which is Doesn't Matter Records, and I've got all of those 3 EPs plus the next EP are coming out under the label. And then we've started pre-production for the next album, which is going to be titled Darker Side of Life, which is going to be 13 new tracks. So that'll be out January 1st, 2021.
Busy, man.
Yeah.
That's good, though. You got to keep that mind active.
Yeah.
Right? And keep those chops going and shake off the rust, because we've been sitting in a pandemic for the last 8 months or whatever, however long it is. But, dude, I got to hand it to you, man. We were checking out your Spotify numbers before we started up. Man, you're crushing it. You got a bunch of songs, over 1 million spins. You're getting over 5,500 monthly listeners, which is huge, man.
I've been very fortunate. Mm-hmm. I have been very fortunate. Like I was telling you before we went on, like, I know a lot of people that trash Spotify and trash the streaming services because of, you don't get paid a lot. No, you really don't. But half of nothing is nothing, and at least if you're getting something, it's better than nothing. And like I was saying, it's nice to wake up and you check and your streams are coming from, Australia and Europe and, Japan and, Scotland and England, and all of a sudden you're just like sitting there and you're like, I've never even been there. but yet I have a following over there that is just like killing my numbers, and I'm just like, I'll take it.
That's the beauty of Spotify, because you could go down rabbit holes in Spotify, and rabbit hole, for lack of a better term, like you're sitting there listening to one of your favorite artists or your favorite genre, and you discover, this is what I love about Spotify, is you discover so many great new artists or artists that haven't ever been on your radar before, but just by cruising down. And you see like artists related to this one, and you click on that. I know I click on a lot of different stuff, just to keep the mind fresh and check out new stuff, put new artists on my radar.
Oh yeah, it's amazing to me, and I mean, like everything else in the music industry, it's all tools.
Yeah.
And now the tools are there, and you think back in the day when everybody was making CDs and doing this and doing that. Well, you weren't getting your music overseas from the States, and now it's like the complete opposite. It's like now those tools are there and it's accessible, and it's all going hand in hand, and like you see it grow, and it's just like, wow, how did that happen? But like I said, I'm very lucky, very thankful for it all. It's been a whirlwind, and through this whole pandemic crap, I'm just like, I'm glad I have that, because that's what has basically kept me from needing to go get a day job.
No day jobs.
No day jobs.
No. I hear you, man. No, it's good. What about live streaming? Have you been live streaming at all? Or?
No, I don't do too much of it.
No?
We did one. I think I've done 2 live streams in the whole time. Like I said, we did the first live stream, which ended up being Quarantine Volume 1. Mm-hmm. We recorded that completely on Facebook Live. We had the band set up in the garage, and we put a phone in the garage, and we filmed it. At the same time, we were recording it to the board, and then I mixed it from the board and put it out. So that was Quarantine Sessions Volume 1. And then I did another, I did an acoustic thing online. And, not for nothing, I personally have a really hard time playing to a phone.
Right.
I have a really hard time playing to a camera. I just put that out there. But, I feed off of a live audience, so not having one and not being able to see people commenting on it, I just don't. I have such a hard time with it that I just don't do it.
Well, it lacks energy for one.
Yeah.
And then there's no response. So it's almost like you're having a practice. Pretty much what it is. You're having a practice, but your phone's set up in the middle of the living room. Or
yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. And I'm not the best about practicing. I'm really not.
I've said this a lot, too, but a lot of my friends that are out there doing the singer-songwriter thing are killing it right now on the live streams.
Yeah.
And shout out to Ryan Montbleu and Tim Palmieri, Just Joe, Altair. A lot of those guys are doing really well. Travel down the world of Twitch. Twitch is really, really killing it, and it opens it up to another international audience, too. And put that on your radar, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that when I get home for sure.
Twitch is a whole nother video platform that it started off as a gaming platform, and we're live on Twitch right now too.
Oh, okay.
So when we go live on the D, we're live on Facebook and Twitter and Periscope and Twitch and YouTube and all these other random video platforms. I don't even know half of them. I don't even pay. And I'm telling you to pay attention to Twitch. I don't even pay attention to Twitch, and maybe I should. But you can make money off Twitch. People have it can be a subscription base where they pay a couple extra bucks a month, and then there's a way to tip you and virtual tip jar and all that. So check it out, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Not for nothing. It's a digital world these days, and any avenue that a musician can take to try to get further ahead, the days of a record label coming up to you and saying, hey, we're going to give you this much money for an advance, those days are gone.
Out the door.
Those days are gone.
Don't even think you're going to get signed by a label anymore.
Yeah.
You could do it yourself anyways.
Yeah, and that's the part I think that a lot of people... I've got a lot of friends that still have that old school mentality of we're going to play this show and they're going to find me. And I'm like, no, they're not finding you. They're looking for who has a big audience already.
They're looking for how many subscriptions you have on YouTube. Yeah. They're looking how many spins you got on Spotify. They're looking at your digital platforms.
They're looking, that's exactly what they're looking to see how much interaction you have on Twitter.
Yep.
Because if you have that much interaction, then they know automatically they're not going to lose money. And that's what they're after, and not for nothing, they have to be. But I did, I started the label up just because I was like, I don't ever see that happening for me. I like doing things on my own. I'm a very do-it-yourself kind of person. So I decided to go ahead and start my own label at the turn of 2020, and well, look how that worked out for me. But
yeah, but still, I mean, you're still doing it. You're still putting the work in, though.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I've always respected about you. As long as we've known each other, well, we've only known each other a couple of years, but you've always worked your ass off.
Oh, I try.
You've always worked your ass off, whether you're like playing all over the place, and then if like a gig fails on you, you're out there looking for more gigs. You're
Constantly.
You're always out there doing it in your hustle, man.
I went from 280, what was it, 286 last year to
286 shows last year.
played 286 last year.
Damn.
286 last year.
Damn.
And this year it's like
4. It dropped significantly.
Yeah, before all this happened, I was already booked in September. Back in March, I already had like dates booked in September, and they're all gone.
Oh man,
they're all gone. Like I've gotten to keep like maybe 5 of them, and like I mean, I've been doing some private parties and stuff, and that's kind of what has kind of been offsetting a little bit of it. You know, I have been lucky for those, and then like we played Bag Square last weekend.
I need to check that place out.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I heard it's cool.
You know, we played there last weekend, and then this weekend that just happened, I played a private party Friday night, and then went to a buddy's wedding on Saturday, and then where else did I play last week? Now I have trouble remembering them because I'm not playing all the time. But no, we got What the Truck tomorrow in Utica.
Oh yeah.
We'll be doing that full band, and then Wednesday I'll be in Sylvan Beach. And then Saturday, I'll be at Railside Tavern in Dayville, Connecticut.
And see, it sounds like the gigs are starting to come back a little.
They're starting to roll in.
They're trickling in.
I gotta be real careful about the Connecticut gig, I guess, because I guess they're watching the borders now, and I'm just like, my truck's
really?
legal.
About traveling.
I guess I don't think Connecticut or Massachusetts is on the radar right now, so I think I should be all right.
Right on.
I hope. Be my luck Friday, and you know they'll both end up on the list.
And keep putting that work in, though, man. Keep doing it. Keep recording and stuff. I got to give a shout out to John Pappas over at Guinness Bakery. He's saying what's up. Hey, Johnny. Everybody out there in Facebook land, if you guys could do us a favor and click the share button, help spread the word of EC Radio, Local Music Monday, and of course my friend Ryan Matter. Check him out online too. He's got some great music. If you're into like the outlaw rock and roll country side of things, man, Ryan tells a great story on a lot of things. And your music is easy to get drunk to.
I've heard that before.
Like, I listen to you, man, I want to start drinking Jack Daniels, and I don't drink Jack Daniels. We'll switch it over to Jameson. I do drink Jameson.
I've heard that once or twice. No, actually, a friend of mine in Texas, we were playing a show, and he was breaking my chops about another friend of mine who's an artist, and he goes, you know what's funny? He goes, I go to his shows, and I don't get hammered. I come to your shows, and I end up crawling out of the bar. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is it so bad you have to get drunk, or is it that good that you're having too much fun? And he looks at me, he goes, I'll let you decide when you get to my house. So,
yeah, man. Hopefully, this will all come back really soon, and we could get you out and do it at Disruption event. And last year we had some fun. We did the Animal Jam together.
Yes, the butterfly.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. My buddy posted on the thing because I made that little collage to promote today, and he's like, hey, that's my painting. He's standing in front of my painting. He's got the butterfly wings going. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Sickenburger too, man. What they did with their whole mural and arts down there, it's unbelievable. And shout out to Angela Johnson too, because she just did that mural that's sitting over here on the wall. I wish I could put the camera to it, but it is on our Instagram and our social media. She knocked it out of the park this week, man.
That's awesome.
She's been working on that for a little while, and she finally finished it this weekend. And it's kind of, I call it Full Metal Hippie.
Yeah.
Because you got the tie-dyed, and then you got the skulls, and then the old school microphone, and it's got like this Full Metal Hippie vibe. So
I like it.
Yeah. Angela kills it, man. BB Designs. Check her out online. And if you need a mural done, she also did all the Utica Coffee murals.
Oh, okay.
Well, she is like the ringleader, if you will. Like,
okay.
She books all the artists to do, like, she'll give you your section over here. She takes up a section, and she kicks ass, man. She does. And I'll tell you, man, just like the local music community, the local arts community is vibrant right now. It's killing. There's so many great artists in this area. It's ridiculous.
I think the thing about it is that, you know, artistic people can't sit stagnant. Mm-hmm. We can't do it. we can't do it. And like that's what I was saying. Like that's why I did get so busy in the studio. I'm like, well, if they're not going to let me play, I'm going to ride this wave that I got going online, and I'm just going to keep dishing out songs.
Yeah.
And not for nothing. I mean, it worked in my favor. Like I know a lot of people that don't have those numbers, and they're all looking at me like, how did you get those numbers? And I'm just like,
Oh, you've been doing it for a while.
I got lucky. Well, this year is year number 9. Next year's my 10th year.
You gonna do an anniversary tour?
Professionally, like
Yeah.
I did it when I was younger and stuff, and then I quit. And then 9 years ago, I got back into it and booked my first paid show, like in a long time span. Like I think I took like 10 years off, or maybe 8 years off or something like that. And but yeah, next year's my 10th year back, and I'm like, all right, dropping a new album. Big plans are coming. And then both guys in the band just looked at me and they're like, you're putting us on payroll, aren't you? I'm like, that's the goal. And they're like, what is your plan for 2021? I said, well, we're going to wait and see how all this stuff works out.
Yeah, you can't really
we're
make
going to wait
plans.
and see how all this stuff works out. I said, I'm not really making any plans yet. I said, but just know that there's going to be some Midwest stuff coming. And they're like, yep, you're planning on hitting the road. I'm like, yep, I sure am.
Yeah, and you should. But you've been out there before. I mean, you're not originally from this area.
No. Originally, I'm from L.A., and that's the funnier part. So went through drummer after drummer after drummer after drummer after drummer. Finally had my last one quit, and I called L.A. Called the drummer I got now. Called L.A. Called him 32 times before he finally answered the phone. 6 o'clock in the morning, L.A. time. This guy doesn't go to bed till 5 o'clock in the morning. I know this. And so I call him 32 times. He finally answers. This better be good. I'm like, you want a job? I'm listening. So we move him out here March 6th. We play 2 gigs, and then everything goes into shutdown.
Is he still here?
Yeah, he's here.
He's still here.
He's the one that's on the records with us. So yeah, no, he's still here. He's a huge pain in my ass, but he's here.
Well, I bet you're a huge pain in his ass too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie about it.
It's like this whole COVID thing isn't anything you could have predicted.
No.
Nobody could.
No, and I mean, not for nothing. I had the gigs lined up to where we were all going to be okay and everything, and then it all just gone, and it's slowly starting to come back.
Have you been inspired by any of this writing wise?
Honestly, yes and no, but I haven't really sat down to write anything because I want to get. I always feel like I put other things ahead of other things, and like I've started to work on some new like guitar riffs and some new stuff, and as soon as I start doing that, I'm like, man, I got a whole nother record that needs to get recorded. I don't want to write and then lose that album, and then still be sitting on songs. So we've kind of, as a whole band, we kind of agreed to get everything that I have recorded and then see where we're at, and then we're going to start writing collectively. When pre-production kind of ends and we get the production of the album done, we're going to sit down and start writing. And that was kind of the, like, Dan and Kenny they both looked at me and they were like, you're planning on writing on the road next year, aren't you? I'm like, sure am.
I'll tell you, man, it couldn't have been perfect timing, though, for getting that studio up and going. I know where you were at, like maybe in January, you were just starting to build it and whatnot, and then you finally got it done just in time.
Yeah, I mean, well, that thing came together. When did I get the computer and the interface? I think I got that stuff 2 weeks after all this crap started. Like I finally just buckled down, and that was the big expense, was getting the computer and the software. I'm using my live rig as our interface because I've got the Behringer XR, and it's a 16-channel interface. Like you can't get one of those things. You can only get 8s, and I'm like, man, I want a 16. Like I want to be able to track a live band. And so I had the Behringer interface for our live show anyway, and got a laptop, and I got 64-channel capability. Like we haven't even touched the surface of that thing yet. Like most of our songs are like 18 tracks or something like that, and it's like, wow, okay. I'm like, I got 64 capability. Like, hey, we could always be doing something else. And but no, I mean, that's kind of been my everybody was like, oh, as long as you learn something through this pandemic, you'll be doing good. And I'm like, yeah, I learned how to be my own recording engineer.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I literally enrolled myself in online classes, bought a bunch of books, been watching a bunch of YouTube videos, bought a bunch of software, bought all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, all right, now how do I use it? So, like, I've been taking online courses to become a certified engineer, and I'm like, all right, cool. All the stuff I've taken from it, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to apply this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. All right, cool. And then everybody's like, dude, that sounds really good. I'm like, yeah, we recorded that in my garage. And they're like, you did not. I'm like, yeah, we sure did. So
if anything from this pandemic, it taught you to slow down, but you picked up another skill.
Yeah.
You got a couple more skill sets now.
Exactly.
Right? You know, so there's silver lining.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. I'm a busybody. Mm-hmm. I'm always a busybody. I always have to be on the go. I always have to be doing something. And you know, I think that's my hardest time with mixing is sitting still.
Yeah.
For, 2-3 hours at a time and just doing it. And like I finally had to just force myself to just sit there until I was happy with it or until I can walk away from it and be like, I'll come back to it again later. And like I was telling you earlier, before we got on, like the next quarantine sessions is recorded, and I've got one of the 5 songs that's just giving me hell. So like I've been working on it. Like, all right, I got to sit down and work on that, and I get mad at it. I'm like, I'm done. And then I send it to myself, and I listen to it, and I'm like, this still sounds like crap. I'm like, back to it. All right, I'm done. Still sounds like crap. Then I plug the headphones in, I'm like, man, it still sounds like crap. So it's definitely finally a song that is making me earn it. And I'm like, all right, at least now I'm learning a lot of tricks. So that'll be my night when I get home tonight. I got to sit down on it and work on it some more.
Do you tend to overthink?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had to... on that specific song, I started out with like a SSL board all the way across the mix, and I couldn't get what I wanted out of the drums. So then I went to the Pro EQ on it, and I got a little bit more out of it. Then I put a bus on it, and like, oh yeah, it turned into a nightmare on the second mix. Turned into a nightmare. I just had plugins everywhere, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to turn all of them off. I'm going to erase every single one of them. I'm not going to look at any of the settings. And I did. I erased every plugin off of it, and I started over. I'm like, okay, this is our bass. This is where we're going to start. And like now I'm on mix number 5, and I'm just like, probably going to do that again tonight. Delete all the plugins and start over.
Do you find it's good for you to like maybe walk away from a project, then come back to it?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
It is good because I don't have the monitor set up yet. So, like, I'm doing everything out of my headphones. And it gets to a certain point where your ears just get so fatigued that you can easily start making a lot of mistakes and not even really be paying attention to them. So, usually, like, I'll force myself. Like, I can only sit for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes only 45 minutes before my ears are just fatigued. Because, it's all so mentally new to me. I've only really been doing it like, I grew up in studios, but I never turned the knobs.
Right.
Like I never did it myself. I was always there watching someone else do it. But, and I could tell them, hey, I want more of this there. I want more of this there. I want more of this there. But I didn't know how they were getting it, and that it's an art. I'm not going to lie about it in any way, shape or form. Mixing is an art, and same with mastering. And
are you mastering your stuff too?
No, that's the one thing that I'm staying away from.
Yeah.
I have the capability with the software that I have.
It's a whole nother animal.
Yeah. When I get the next one out, I'm going to send the 12 originals over to Ryan. I'm going to have Ryan Abbott master them. And that way they're ready for a record, because I plan on doing CDs of the quarantine sessions, even if it's only 100. I'm going to get hard copy CDs of it done, so I want to have it mastered, so that way at least they're all in line versus my mixes, which could be sporadic. And I'm like, here, I'll let you master this one. I'm still learning the process of it all, so it's a matter of when I'm comfortable with it. Like, I feel like I could master somebody else's stuff, but doing the mixing and the mastering of my own stuff, I don't want to take away from it.
That's where the overthinking will come in.
Exactly. So I'm, like, trying not to get into that realm yet, and I'll probably get there. Like, because I've been working with it so much now, like I'm still a real, like I'm really a novice at it, and and like people are like, what do you mean you've only recorded like 20 songs on your own? I'm like, dude, I've only ever done this for a little bit. Like I've never, like, I never once did this stuff for myself. And going from a Tascam Porta Studio to a full interface, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Like the things I can do now that I couldn't do with the other, it's just like, what do you mean I just have to drag and drop? Cool. As opposed to, all right, I'm going to use the kick drum today. And sit there for 5 minutes and go through the whole song and just do the kick drum.
Yeah. You brought up CDs. Do people still buy CDs? I think we've had this conversation before.
People still do.
They do? Like
People still
in a
do.
live setting when you're playing shows?
People buy CDs now basically as something to take home. They buy it, they open it, they bring it up to you, and they say, hey, can you autograph this for me? And it's like a memento to take home from the show. I've found that it's easier to sell a CD than it is a koozie, a T-shirt, a hat, a keychain. CDs are the easiest things. And I have T-shirts. I have hats. I've had hats. I don't have any right now, but I've had hats. They were some of the hardest things that I could sell.
Really?
Like, they were the hardest thing I could sell. I ended up discounting them down so much that, like, I ended up taking, like, a $5 loss on each hat. Like, and that was the only way they would sell. And, like, I'm selling them for $5 less than what I paid for them. That was the only way I could get rid of them.
Huh.
And T-shirts, I have a hell of a time with those. Koozies, up and down.
Yeah. I feel like koozies are more of a seasonal
thing.
Yeah, summertime.
Yeah, 100%. But like everybody always comes up to me, hey, you got CDs? We want to buy a CD. And I'm like,
Let me
I'm
ask
out
you,
at the
do you
moment.
have a CD player?
In my truck?
Anywhere. Do you have a CD?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I still listen to CDs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I listen to CDs in my truck because I don't have an auxiliary cable.
Okay.
To listen to Spotify in the truck.
Gotcha. So you got a collection of CDs in the truck. Right on, man. No, how could people check out your music, and where online can they find you?
Easiest places to find me are www.ryanmatter.com, Facebook, Ryan Matter fan page, Twitter and Instagram at the Ryan Matter, and I mean anywhere YouTube. I think it's just under Ryan Matter. I don't know the actual name of the page.
What?
I don't even know it anymore. Like I don't ever use YouTube anymore, and like I probably should again, but
Yeah, get on that.
But yeah, it's just been like we've talked about doing a music video for the upcoming album. We've talked about doing a couple music videos, and I think that's what I'm gonna be working on. And I got to really sit down and start making lists of the different things that need to start happening. And it's just been one thing after the other.
Yeah,
here
for sure.
lately.
You still playing as a 3-piece, or you got more members? In
Nope,
the
we're a
band?
complete 3-piece. We're not going any bigger anymore.
No.
Nope. I sat down and decided that I was just going to go ahead and play lead guitar no matter how bad it got. So
You never thought about putting like a Hammond B3 behind you?
in studio, yeah.
Yeah. Because I totally hear your music with a B3.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be great. It's hard to find somebody that plays one and wants to haul it around.
True, especially around here. Yeah, it's lugging furniture around.
It really is. But we've talked about doing it in the studio, and but once again, finding somebody to come in and play. We've talked about even adding a keyboard player, and then we're like, we tried one out, and it was like it didn't help or hurt the sound. So it's like, okay, we don't need it necessarily. I mean, not for nothing. We've played some shows, and people come in and they're like, "What do you mean this is only a 3-piece band? Where's the other 5 members?" We're like, "No, we're only 3 pieces," and they're like, "You sound like there's 10 in here." And we're like, "No, it's only us 3." Like, I bet that's the difference between guys using solid state amplifiers or running line outs and running everything digitally, and like we're still very analog.
Old school.
Very. Like I said, I run a 15-watt tube amp through a Les Paul, and I mean, it's a tone monster.
But it's a warmer sound.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only running a 112 that's this big, and the thing sounds like this. Dan runs a 100-watt tube head, so I mean, his bass sounds enormous. And then the way we EQ everything off the drums and everything, I mean, it's just not for nothing, it's a loud, obnoxious rock band. I love it. I love it when everybody comes up to us and they're like, "Dude, you're only 3 pieces. How are you this loud?" I'm like, "Well, those subs are 1,200 watts. Those tops are 1,400 watts, and our monitors are 1,300 watts." I'm like, I have to be louder than that drum kit.
Good music to get drunk to, that's for sure.
We try. We definitely try.
Yeah, man. Ryan, thanks for hanging with me. I got to cut a little short today. I got a bunch of things I got to do after this is all done. But thank you so much for hanging.
Z, thanks for having me.
One more time, plug all your social medias.
Yes, it's Facebook at the Ryan Matter fan page. And then you got Twitter and Instagram at the Ryan Matter. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, Tidal, you name it. Anywhere that there's a platform, we're on it. We're on it. I mean, I go through CD Baby and I go through DistroKid, CD Baby. That's where everything's been put through. And
which is a great platform because they just push everything out for you.
Yeah.
All you do is you pay them the money and they push it for you. So
yeah, and I mean, not for nothing,
distribution.
It's great. And I mean, they even do a little bit of promo for you and stuff. Like if you catch them, they'll do a Twitter feed on you. You know, they'll send your stuff out and. You know, so I've been really, like I said, I'm really, really fortunate and really thankful that through all of this, I've been able to keep the monthly listeners just growing. And it's like, all right, thank you. Like,
yeah, man.
That's all you can be is thankful, you know? And
I'd like to see you do some live streams, though, brother. Seriously, I know you don't want to play in front of an iPhone or whatever, but it helps, man.
No, I know it does. I'm old school.
Speaking of, we're actually sponsoring a live stream this week on Thursday, and big shout out to Tim Moyer and the boys from Gridley Page. We're sponsoring their Wind Down on Thursday, 8 o'clock on all the social medias. I think Facebook and like YouTube or whatever. Moyer, I know you're out there. Just let me know what platforms you're on. But that's going on at 8 o'clock. And Justin is actually going to sit in with them. So Thursday's a big day for us around the D. We got the local music Thursday as we're going to carry it over with Nash and then sponsor the Wind Down on for my boys from Gridley Page. So that should be a good time. I'm looking forward to that. Also, later on tonight, too, No Time for Nonsense goes live with CAA agent Mark Del Piano, I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he's an agent for a bunch of celebrities. And so Bill Vinci goes off at about 7 o'clock with No Time for Nonsense and his guest, and they're going to talk all things Hollywood. And I guess he's got a new endeavor out right now, and he had left CAA for this new endeavor that he started up. So that goes on 7 o'clock on all Disruption Network social media platforms. Also, before we get out of here, much love to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit them up at 315-335-0516. He moves pretty much anything you need to be moved. He'll move it for you. They're awesome kids. They wear masks. They wear back brace. They're respectable young men. They're very polite. They say ma'am and sir, and they're just awesome people. Hit them up, ejamoving.com. Also, much love to my good friend, attorney Dave Longaretta. If you need legal help, call him today at 315-735-6162. Shout out to Utica Coffee for releasing their brand new Headless Horseman coffee. Ryan, you got to check that coffee out. You drink coffee? Are you a coffee guy? So-so?
So-so.
So it's not really your thing?
I mean... No.
If you need a good boost, drink Utica Coffee, because I'm telling you, man, they don't say wake the hell up for nothing. Check out that Headless Horseman coffee. It's absolutely awesome.
I have to go to the store and get coffee when I leave here.
There you go. But if you also need to be hydrated on the alcoholic side, go visit my friends over at Saranac, saranac.com. Get yourself some Uncle Charlie's. So I got Tuesdays off, but Wednesday I come back with local hip-hop guy, Mel's. We got to talk some stuff. We're getting deep. I always get deep with Mel's, and I'm looking forward to talking to him. Malcolm McGill. He's doing some really cool things out there, and not just on a hip hop front, but he's got a clothing line and he's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on as an activist that he is. So I'm really looking forward to talking with him on Wednesday. And then Thursday, like I said, Local Music Thursday with Nash and my co-host Justin Smithson. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Ryan, thanks again so much for hanging out.
Hey, bud, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you doing it. It's spare the moment, man. Spare the moment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Follow, like, subscribe, all things Disruption Network on social media, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you on Wednesday. Later.